I did a video some days ago about my 5 most valuable Android apps. And these apps was the apps I used to be creative and productive, because I use my phones and devices to be creative and productive. But of course I use apps to consume media with too. So I would like to do a video about the apps I use to consume media with. And one of the latest new RSS reader apps is called Press. So let's start with Press. Press is a really beautiful made RSS reader. It looks very much like the Reader app for iOS and Mac. It's very beautiful. You must manually sync it every time you start it. That's a huge drawback for me. But let's say we want to read all these new RSS items. I click all subscriptions and you get all the new RSS items in a long list. And if you want to read one of these items, just click on it and it opens in a beautiful formatted post. Really beautiful to read in this format. And as you can see, you can change the font size how you want it. And one of the problems with Press is that you can't swipe or doing anything to go to the next post. You need to swipe on the left side to go back to this list and click on the next item to read. I think that's a huge drawback for this new app, but hopefully it will be better after a while. So, for example, if I want to read this again, it opens beautifully, but I can't swipe to the right to go to the next item. I need to swipe to the left to go back to the list, and that's a huge drawback. And to mark items red, you need to click on this little small icon to mark it as red. I do that with that too, as you can see. And if you are here in the list, you can click and hold, and this opens. Mark all below as red. Why would I like to do that? I would like this feature to mark all above as red, because I go through this list and read the items I want to read. Then I want to mark all those that I have scrolled away as red. I will not mark all posts that's left as red. So that feature is no good either. I hope the developers will fix that and add more features to this app, because it's very good looking. I really like it, and it flows really good when reading and so on, and the UI is great and all that. So hopefully this app will be better after a while. So that was Press, a new RSS reader for Android. Looks really good. Another app that is very useful for me when consuming media is Pocket. Pocket is a read later service to read posts, articles later when you have the time. And personally I think Instapaper is better for iOS and the web, but the Android app for Instapaper is terrible, no good at all. So I have decided to switch to Pocket because Pocket is good enough and syncs really good with the new great Mac app for Pocket. So a native app for Mac called Pocket syncs perfectly fine with this Android app for Pocket. So I have decided to switch to Pocket to use it instead of Instapaper now, and it's quite good. So if you add items to your Pocket list from anywhere on the web, for example a browser or an RSS reader or whatever, you can later on read this in Pocket, and for example click on this item to read it and it opens beautifully formatted to read. And I like this formatting of the post because that makes it so easy to read and very enjoyable to read. That's what I like with Pocket. And you can read it in almost full screen as you see here. And if you click on it again, you get a toolbar at the top where you can change the font size, sharing, mark as read and so on. So Pocket is my second consuming app I show you today. And of course I use Flipboard too. I will not show you so much from Flipboard because most of the users has already seen Flipboard, so they know how it looks and so on. But one of the great features with Flipboard is that cover stories, as you can see here, cover stories. It learns from your reading and sharing and all that, so you get all the posts that Flipboard thinks that I want to read from all my timelines, all my streams. I think that's a neat feature if you need to scroll through all the latest stuff that is cool and so on quite fast. So then I choose cover stories like this, and you get the cover stories that you have from Twitter, Google Reader, Buzz. Oh sorry, I don't mean Buzz, I mean Google Plus, of course, and all other timelines you have, Facebook and all that. So cover stories is a great feature in Flipboard, but when I really want to read the latest news and all that, I always go into Google Reader. And the Google Reader in Flipboard syncs my Google Reader account with all my RSS feeds that I have, and it syncs perfectly fine with all the other RSS reader apps like Press and all that. So if I want to see all the latest news, I use Google Reader and Flipboard, and it's more for my working and so on, because I post and write about tech stuff and I do this kind of videos about tech stuff and so on. So then I go into Google Reader to really see all the latest news. So Flipboard is a really cool app and very useful for me. Another incredible awesome RSS reader that I still think is better than Press is Minimal Reader. And here you see the great widget from Minimal Reader. It's an awesome widget that updates automatically. You set the time you want the widget to update and so on. Really cool. So if I click on one of the items from the widget, Minimal Reader opens and displays the article in a beautiful formatted style. I love Minimal Reader. I think that's the best RSS reader for Android. There is no better RSS reader in the Play Store. It's really cool. I have only one huge drawback, one minus for minimal reader, and that is I can't use full screen. So you always have the toolbar at the top, and I don't like that, because I would like to have the full screen mode that both Pocket has and Flipboard has. That's too bad. But compared to Press, you can swipe left and right to go between all the posts, as you can see, and that's awesome. I really like that. So that's much better than in Press. And another great thing with Minimal Reader is that you can even read all the non-full RSS feeds in Minimal Reader. As you can see here, I have a post that you can't read because it's only a quote or the first paragraph of text in this post. But if you click on Read Full Article, it opens in Minimal Reader, beautifully formatted by Instapaper, actually. So it formats the full post directly in Minimal Reader, so you can easily read this post. And that's awesome with Minimal Reader. I really like that feature. So that was Minimal Reader. And of course I read ebooks on my Android phone. I love reading ebooks, so I'm using the app called Moon Plus Reader Pro to read ebooks. And one of the reasons I think this app is the best is that you can read all free books directly in the app. For example, if I click on this Net Library, Nätbibliotek in Swedish, you can choose ebooks from all these free libraries. For example, Smashwords. It took some time there. But for example, popular books at Smashbooks. And then you can find a book to read, for example, Blood Feud. And click on that, and at the bottom you see download or read. Then you download this book to your device, or if you click read, you stream this book to your device. For some reason that doesn't work at the moment, sorry about that. But we go back to my bookshelf, and I click on one of the books I have already downloaded from these free libraries. Click on that, and as you can see, and as you see at the bottom, you can see how much of the book you have read and all that stuff, how much you have left on the chapter and all that. So I like that. One thing I don't like with this app, Moon Plus Reader Pro, is that the animation swipe to the next page is a bit slow. It feels not so fluid when you swipe. I think that's a bit annoying. You can turn that animation off though, so you don't need to have that. But I hope they will fix that animation so it will be a bit more fluid. But I love to use these apps to read ebooks in, because I often read in bed when I laying on the side. So a smartphone in this size, around 4.8 inch or so, is a perfect device to read ebooks in your bed. I really like that. And you can import your local ebooks and so on. You can, for example, add PDFs and much more to your library, your bookshelf. So Moon Plus Reader Pro is a great app for reading ebooks on Android. And of course I listen to music sometimes, so then I use Google Play Music, of course. It's free to upload 1,000 albums of music to Google Play Music. So my app of choice to listen to music is Google Play Music. I like that. So this was the apps. Some of the apps I use to consume media on Android. I hope you like this video and give it a thumbs up if so, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need more subscribers, so please do that. Okay, have a great new year and we see you next time. Bye.